Start your business now. Today is the best day to start your business. Start now. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to season 2. My name is Do Kim, and I'm an entrepreneur with many passions. And I have another person just as passionate as me. In this season, we're going to cover how to prepare for your taxes. It's a lot of work, I know, but we are here to help you. So let me introduce you to my friend Steffany Ayala. And she has many businesses, and I want her to tell you all the businesses that she has.
Thank you so much, though. My name is Steffany Ayala, and thank you for inviting me to this. This is just excited. I've been enjoying season 1, so now season 2 is gonna be more excited for the things to come. But like Doe mentioned, I am an entrepreneur. I've been doing business for about 9 years, and it's been an exciting journey. It's been definitely a huge journey that we all embarked to take, but let me tell you a little bit about those businesses. Well, I did start a bookkeeping business years ago, and then I started a flower shop. Then I started doing Airbnbs, and then I'm also the director of operations for a wonderful nonprofit organization.
Wow, where do you find the time for everything?
That's the number one question that a lot of people always ask me, and I don't know. But I can tell you, as an entrepreneur, we wear so many hats. We go and embark ourselves into all these adventures, and that's what I called it, adventures, because I want to make sure that I have fun too, but it's definitely a challenge, and there's going to be so many challenges in the process, but it's an exciting thing because at the end, the result is what's important.
So how did you fall into the flower business? Well, when I met Steffany, I think I met her right before you started your bookkeeping company. And that was kind of also forced in a way.
Oh, yes. You know what? Definitely. And though it was a huge influence in my life. You were a huge influence why did I start accounting? Because you were the one to push me.
Oh, wow.
And that's something that I also want to encourage entrepreneurs and freelancers, always make sure that you look for the people that will be there to push you, to take the risk. Because sometimes we need that. We need to take that. And sometimes we forget that we are able to do it. But, the flower business started by a push too, and by a hobby.
Wait, so we all kind of get into business not by, a lot of people don't get into business by this is what I want to do, but we just kind of fall into it, no?
Oh, yes, yeah. And that's what happened with the flower business. I went to travel with my girlfriends to Nashville, and I saw this beautiful truck filled with lots of flowers, and then I was like, I love that. I want to do that. But of course, in my mind, it's that's not my career. I don't want to do that. But then I came to realize that, that was something that I wanted to do. And I came back to LA, and I was like, I want to do the same thing that I saw there. And, and I had wonderful people that really, I came and brought the idea to, which which this nonprofit allowed me to do that in a flea market. And then I said, okay, I'm going to put a booth. And then I invited my family. I invited my friends, and then we started a flower shop hobby during that time, and I planted it, and then the first thing that I remember on the first day was that somebody came and asked me, do you do events? And then I looked at my mom, and we were like, yes.
That's what we do as entrepreneurs.
And I say yes to the journey. And I think that's important too, just taking the risk to say yes, not knowing. Because I never studied to be a florist. I never did, I never even looked at YouTube how to do a flower arrangement. And I got pushed to do that. And then the flower business grew. And now, we're an online flower business that has been there and just providing those services. And it's been a fun journey too. Definitely differently than what I have learned in the past of nonprofit with the for-profit world. But, but it kind of pushed me to do something new. So.
Wow. After many, many weddings later too.
Oh, yes.
You've done many weddings.
Lots of weddings, lots of corporate events. Even small flower arrangements has been. And I think the beauty of this, as you go into your own business is that you love it and that you have fun. And, so that's something that I learned even in this flower business, that I love it. And now it's part of my passion, it's part of my journey.
I love flowers too. So I could see why you love like working with, the beautiful things, right?
Yes.
So we are going to start giving some advice, but even before that advice, we want to talk about why is the word even tax? Everybody like kind of cringe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tax return or tax season, or I have to do my taxes. Yeah. I've never seen any one person smile when they say that word, right?
No, I'm not even smiling
true.
have to even look at all these numbers. I'm like, why? Why did I have to do taxes then? And I think one of the things that I always think about people when they, when we start closing the year, right? It's like it's like you closing yourself too and be like, okay, now I'm starting a new year. A lot of people come into the fear of like, oh my gosh, my taxes, how am I gonna do that? You start collecting every single receipt like that you can find in your car, in your wallet, in your bag, in everywhere. And that's something I always tell people, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to start working on that, because especially as you are an entrepreneur and you're a freelancer, if you're a contractor, you're going to go into this journey of learning all that has to do with financials. And you should not go into with fear. You should be with like this passion of like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it. So
I know. I think the fear comes because we're not organized or we're not prepared or we don't know. And that's totally fine. There's a lot of people out there that can help. Let's talk about obstacles. We talked about the word, why a lot of people do not like that word. But let's talk about what are the barriers and obstacles in even preparing for taxes.
Yeah. I think we all make mistakes. I have made lots of mistakes. I started so young and going into an entrepreneur world that I didn't know. So we make mistakes, and I think that's part of that world of like feeling challenged and also feeling that, I'm going to have so many obstacles because I'm not prepared, and we never prepare.
No, not even us.
No business has ever been prepared. I think we have to just make sure that, there's going to be obstacles in your way. But hey, always be positive, always be positive on what you want to, engage with your business, especially with your financials, And I think one of the things that I always recommend people is just start creating and start being organized, with your financials, By that, does that mean, what do you mean, Steffany, to be organized? I think, a lot of people might ask that question. It's like, start really learning about what's your industry's finances world, because like, if you don't know your industry and how your industry actually, embrace into this journey, then you're not going to be able to be successful with your business, but also with your financials, which is a huge, important factor.
Right. In order to succeed, we got to succeed with the numbers too, right?
Yes, because they're a really huge part of your life too. So
the things that I see that are huge obstacles is the unknown. For some people, because maybe this is their first year of freelancing, they don't know what to do. But one of the ways that will help is to actually pay your estimated taxes. Now, if you're making more than $1,000, you are advised to make estimated taxes every quarter. And Steffany, why don't you share your kind of tip on estimated taxes?
So there's many different ways, like you mentioned, quarterly paying. I will always recommend that, paying quarterly, because believe me, when I started my own businesses, sometimes I waited to the end of the year to pay for taxes. And then I was like, where's my money? Where is it going? And then I learned that you can do quarterly taxes. And I was like, oh, I should start doing that. It hurts. Definitely hurts.
Yes.
But I definitely always recommend that. And, budgeting is also really important. A lot of, especially, one of the rules that, is kind of established out there, that every contractor should always save between 20 to 35% of your income. And sometimes for us, especially, if you're like growing, if you're starting your business, it's like, how am I going to do that? There's no way I'm going to do 20, 35%. So I always recommend to people, start working on a budget. If you're able to plug in those numbers, plug them in at the beginning, because it's always really helpful. But as you start really looking at your business and learning about your industry's financial, then you start really, tucking a little bit your numbers in there on your budget. But that's really important to do, to always learn about your financials, your industry, creating a budget, and also making sure that you do your quarterly taxes. So that way, at the end of the year, you don't get hit by that, because it hurts.
It does.
It hurts a lot.
You pay either way, but budgeting along the way with the quarterly tax payment really, really helps. Yeah. We're speaking from experience.
Oh, yes. And also it's going to help you in the future. A lot of entrepreneurs and contractors and small business don't understand the factor that it's not just about paying your taxes. You're going to see on your financials and on the run that you do with your business that it's going to help you with your business in the future. It's going to help you make better decisions. It's going to be able to give you a lot of opportunities, and that's something that I know we are afraid, but here we are, taking a risk. And I'm sure you are taking a risk, because you're listening to this and you're an entrepreneur, or you're a contractor, or you're a freelancer, a small business. You're taking the risk already, and that's fine, that's fine.
Yeah. Another big tip that I have is separating out your personal finance and business finance. My big suggestion is to create a DBA, doing business as, and I mentioned this in a former video, but using another checking account to do that. Now, if you don't want to do that, there is actually a way. Just create another checking account just purely for your business. That's where a lot of people get in trouble, because when tax season comes, you're having to separate things out. It's a lot of work.
Oh, yes.
We've been there, so we know. I know. So my big suggestion is to do a DBA that would really also legitimize your business. And you can pay people through your business account, right? But either way, just create another account, and maybe even create another credit card just for business sake. So that is going to be huge. Now, if you have not done that for the previous year, I will have some tips for you on how to quickly separate out your transactions, but that will be in a future episode.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to open a DBA. DBA doesn't mean that you're gonna have a huge business right away. You don't. That's just the first step that you take to actually be able to build and starting your business. That doesn't mean that, oh my gosh, now what's the IRS gonna think if I have a DBA? Don't be afraid. It just takes literally few minutes to do. It doesn't take that long. And there you are. You start a new business account, you start a new credit card that is just concentrated for your business, because that's another mistake that we do. We start building accounts and we start uniting them with all our personals, and it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
So I have learned that, from the beginning. So and then at the end you see the results that you were like, wait, why? And that's because, again, like we mentioned earlier, you want to make sure that you learn about your financials when you're learning about your business too, because it's going to be a huge factor for you to make decisions in the future.
That's right. We gave you really big tips. So I hope you can put them into action. Now, the last topic I want to cover for today is, how do we create a healthy financial business environment for ourselves? Do you have any tips for that?
Wow, I'm trying to think about all my businesses that I have and how I became, healthy. Because, I'm still not there, believe me. I think we continue growing as an entrepreneur because an entrepreneur never stops learning.
No.
You always continue to learn through the mistakes, through the falls. And a healthy environment is always, well, one, like I shared earlier, making a budget, learning about your personal budget versus your business budget. Because sometimes we think, oh, it's the same, and it's not the same.
No.
It has to be separated because your personal, you're still gonna grow. You're never gonna stop growing. You're never gonna stop learning. But your business, you're gonna challenge yourself into a completely different world. There's gonna be a lot of industries that are gonna come along to you, and you want to make sure that you learn how to grow your business. And I think making sure that you save money. Save money is a huge thing, and tell me about it because I love buying stuff and I am a shopaholic, and I think I have learned hard that that's not gonna take me anywhere, So I had to make sure that I'm saving the money, and maybe I try to use the same rule, Maybe I try to save my 20% and start saving it because that way in the future that's gonna help me to make the decision of like, hey, you never know. I want to grow my Airbnb, and you never know how you're gonna grow it. And that's savings is gonna help you a lot to create that. So, creating a safe environment within your financials is so important.
Yeah. And my tip for this is having intentions. Right?
Oh, yes.
Because money will go. I mean, money will figure out where to go all the time, right? But like Steffany said, if we don't have a plan for it, it will go somewhere. So, prepping for that, budgeting, understanding that, 100% of the money coming into you is not all yours because some of it needs to go to the government. These are all things that we have to learn as freelancers, entrepreneurs. And it's a journey, but we are definitely here to help you today. So I hope you got some good takeaways and good tips. Thank you, Steffany, for being here with me today. And there will be so much more information to come.